So I think, Mike, all this different stuff that you bought, you just sit here listening to. But what's in this environment, the movie Ending, the space creatures, the aliens, they call them aliens, that took you up into heaven, the clouds in Long Island, and said they put you in just like this, right? And then talk to you and taught you some basic stuff about this. But ultimately, you would have to buy that. Maybe $6 million to buy it. It's just not possible. I think the agreement was to shelf Michael and Brooke and handle it themselves. You know, which they would say was there in the light babe and handle it themselves. And ultimately, these men made all these different things, billions of dollars from computers, because they would hardly ask a man like you to work those kind of hours like this. This is a problem, for you to, when you did this between 11 and 6, to be ready for the day. But it was really important. In order to go over there and not make a mistake, I mean, you would have to know what you're doing before you got there. And I think a lot of people do it. But they would have to take you on. I mean, after a while, people realize those people weren't so impeccably good at what they did. The only way to defeat it was recently was work up a good line and keep lying and keep rumors going. And the way it starts with rumors in the neighborhood that were entirely untrue. And in your case, it was an instance. You went to a bar, there was a man sitting there, and they told you it was dragging it. I was thinking it was set that way to close the program with 3 men that Charles place twice your size. You knew to get out of there, right? You saw the other man. What you did not know, that some woman was going through a divorce, did not tell you, already had a baby, did not tell you. You experienced something you never experienced before, which is really odd that you would do that, right? In itself, then find out one day when you went there that some man is there and then starts following you around with some sort of devious plot to get $100,000 from your father because he got her pregnant while he was on the roof one day. So that was his girlfriend. This was, I think, that man's wife. You really weren't. You just went to a bar. Actually, I think those two girls for the first time followed you to a small spot to watch Monday Night Football with your friends and walked right into your client. And she showed you a picture of the same man, right? Tuna fishing. And then you're alarmed by that. And so you would not know that. And then everything spiraled downward from there. With some of those men, you don't ever touch their girlfriends, which is a lot of us right here. That's why they say Brooke is their way. But in the actual tape, two wonderful people did something tremendous for their parents, and then eventually got together. And never did any of those things, right? So now they movie edit the tape. Movie edit the tape. The other way they're going to handle. They started building men with the food you have and all kinds of things you do. So a lot of it could be part of that, rebuilding it, reshaping it, just like these men told you, the Florida Marine Corps, to make this movie, which is this house. You run this machine, the Stardust, to dry your eyes and hallucinate to make the things you did make. It eventually gets to market, and really, and then all this other stuff you did do, which you really don't know how to, you stopped doing a long time ago. But you did 20 already to get this position. I don't think her father was happy about it. Yeah. I certainly not your father. So, but now what would happen if your father became tremendously successful with what work you did and took that and all that was possible with the executives he's after for a very long time on Grumman House who had nothing else to do and made the whole thing happen. And then not pay was always on their receivable. Well, at least make a payment like he did to everybody else. So, and as far as her father, she can do all that she wants without her father going to collect it done. But I think it was the same thing. And a lot of people do those two men a lot of credit, but a lot of people don't. They didn't meet your father because after a while, so look at this. Is this guy crazy or what? First of all, he's not even father. But there were young men who changed laws, did all kinds of things. When those men had nothing, I don't think they had anything, but they did have tremendous value. Did it themselves. So, in your perspective, these men would tell you that that woman was their wife. And that would be a big problem for any man went asked her on a date. But they wanted it that way for fist fighting and stuff. You had your two fights, right? I think that's what they want, steel cage match. Where two men twice your size. That one man screwed your life up terribly. That was amazing. You popped off. He ruined your life with a piece of paper, which is how your generation was. That somehow a piece of paper was important. Yeah. And then you see that's the case. If they back it up, they don't ultimately have to. And what your folks talk about is not even possible anymore. Wouldn't even allow it. So they just walk in and murder the family. But like I said, there's a digital right. It would just fall further into the creation, go where they belong, into eternal damnation. A lot of people don't believe it, but if it was a computer screen, like it said, and you had it, and you saw the whole thing, then that's how it would work. And that these aliens, two aliens, in a home someplace, we think in this world, has an incredible system to do all this stuff and entertain. Other people want to see go for the research and re-edit the tape the other way. Not as possible for this video because as they get old and pass away, and then whatever. I mean, it is what it is, right? Then maybe not for these two folks who change this whole thing. They might have been interested in each other at a very young age. The first boy that asked her on a date, long before Pretty Baby, which is a miraculous story. Right, the family left you home, right? Because there's no. I mean, it was Peter to meet. I mean, I think they knew each other a little bit until they went separate ways. But some kid took a taxi cab there, and your father did not have the money for Nicky Ferraro's Mr. T's taxi to pay, and her father paid. Right? That could be an interesting thing to some child. But he didn't do much on look at news. He was very busy at 16 to 21, right? And staying there for 5 more years, didn't you? No, he dies there. He dies there and lives there as a ginger, all right? Right? That's happens to a lot of people. And then is asked to leave at 27 years. And he did the right thing. It was not ever possible for him to do anything himself without his father. But with his material, what he was working on, they were not every day. You're working with government corporations that they do. It was not, they could make the decision to pay the child to promote it, but what for? He has no college education. So he himself goes by the wayside, runs out to three places in Utah, Washington, and Gainesville, prisons, Gainesville, Georgia, and makes cuts those deals. Then it's incredible when he got into Florida. He follows back 3 or 4 contracts by meeting people. So, which he's really not supposed to do, other than if nobody's trying to solve a problem. And then how could they ever get together having the problem he has? Right. So when we look at those as two damn, and when in our world we pick out who gets together and who doesn't. And not the phones, right? Where seemingly we put it back the other way. And then put what happens if Michael's sitting working all the time and does that. That's a problem with people sitting and standing. But I know the doctor told you to do to get the venom out of your system down into your legs and then bleed it, which is mostly the problem. You would need a blood transfusion and lost so much blood. None of those things you can afford anymore. Wow, as far as like it's not ever going to work out. Other than let them live that life and pass away. Then whatever happens to it, right, which is they get born again as the archangels of a local community, and nobody knows them again. As these men will go forward and do this themselves. Last time it did not work out. The whole planet was destroyed. And he felt it was because he was not making any decisions no more. One is that they want to do it themselves. Takes his ass over to kick his ass. And then, I mean, you really have a tendency to piss people off. Like this stuff. That don't really hurt a lot of people if they saw it, which I don't think they can. That you don't even broadcast it. Right now, I don't know. You're just screwing around with something. There's something to do. So that's that time. That's what you did to. And then the whole thing goes away, as anything else. But I mean, ultimately, she would have to teach that culture, which I don't think you comprehend. So it was an interesting concept that the governments were going to handle this whole thing and try to defeat that because in 1018 and 64, the whole creation is destroyed. everybody goes to eternal damnation and is executed instantly. And that you're told here by this God, He made a creation to destroy it. And we believe this man made something here that does that, and that puts flesh and bone on it, and He actually does do that by coming down, driving cars, and walking houses, and kicking the crap out of people. That's what they're saying here. That you seemingly believe the other way. That, and then say that's the son of perdition. Anybody is talking like that, which many people say you are. But in your world, in his world, no book, no anything, was the same thing falling to you. And it might be that those two men were kicked the crap out of by that man, right? When nobody knew about it was happening to them. Eventually, he goes home from Florida and shoots Michael, right? The man that you know, who was at peace and complacent, everything worked out for him. And he takes over the home with Phyllis and then dies of bladder cancer infection. Right? And then found a transistor in his head, right? Which it had gone bad. It was involved in hate. So seemingly, this Bible says, no, that was the father, and that you say the father is every woman's husband. I think a lot of people are real upset at that. I mean, but this that's what I mean. You can really piss people in the ass kick for that. Yeah, these things, and I think people see that there's a lot to think about, but ultimately you have to take a chance on it too. And if in that time, these are other men who have to back it up, which are a lot bigger than you, and that is at this point they're a lot. I think they were 10 or 15 years older than you. They all retired, right? Which they work for her mainly. So a lot of people would say the creation totally changes this one, right? And that this never does work out. That everybody's destroyed, everybody goes eternal damnation, everybody's kicked the crap out. But as is already, then how is it possible other than it's a computer monitor in Star Trek and that Michael's in, so returning home. And all they were looking for was what he did as a technical program. Why did Star Trek bridge millions of years from that not work properly? Because it was not made properly. That's not what rumors in the neighborhood lying about certain people that destroyed all manufacturing. But as this government made a decision, no more working for the American people, extinct them. But 50 years is a short time. And then these were the people left. It was 6,000 years passed. And as you see, it's this is the way it worked out. And we were thinking of trying to do something much like Camelot. If we get the sword, and if we did, it would be a $400,000 mortgage for everybody. Just like when you were in China, you signed it to the United States of America, $78,000, which is something that was taken care of. But in his life, everything was left with his father, and his father really considered his money when he was helping some orphan child. And in her life, she had picked up a name to basically promote her, or at least she did. But I would think the same thing. Tons of money were made with those two children. That just didn't work out. It was not really a problem that they passed away and nobody knew it. So now with modern day technology, we we will make these decisions for you and her, whether to bring you back to life that we can do, but it will not be. Yeah, some people will say leave Michael the way he is, and not to bring it forward. It's a better story, that these guys handle this, because in later in their life, they'll be all executed, right? And kick the crap out, just like they showed you in that house. It does say something here that we thought was really interesting. If you do all I ask, you will live and not die. Which these creatures of this us would tell us the main thing. Why you think those are human beings. That's us people. That's us. That was millions of years ago. And most definitely, Jesus Christ was like a goofy creature with seven eyes, you know, as it says, and that it really considered you people as fruit, and as us to use talking to you and talking to you, and nobody else there other than that's the system you made to occupy your time. So we'll make those decisions, right? And then you see what's going to happen here. Yeah. But I think in that you would have to have two flags, and if anything, you would just be somebody that kicked the crap, as you say. You know, really. I mean, you know how big some of those men are. Yeah. But it's probably best just to let it go away. Then whatever happens. Yeah. So it was really an interesting look at the Bible from a different perspective that can't go on to market. And it'll hurt too many people. At one point, they decided, oh my God. Then found out they got the living crap kicked out of them when they was one. You know, and it might be that way every 100 years. And you found that as far as Christ was concerned, one minute he told you the complete opposite, and that nobody makes it, and you neither. And now you're hearing something from the creatures that we made team that on the bridge, right? Then you hear something else telling you you're half the distance from the sun to the earth, and that if this earth is like this and the sun and that starlight, that's about all there is. And there's just no way for you to know it other than things you see. But I'm sure it's the karma of getting hit in the back of the head many times in your life. You know? And there's nothing you can do about that. One more shot, you're finished. And maybe that's how it ends. Maybe not. Right? Yeah. So you've been told we'll see, but I mean, as far as we know, all the A plus have that. You know, and they have to live by themselves, and nothing can be done. But maybe we can do something in a dash, for him. So those decisions haven't been made yet. But if this creature made this thing, we believe it sits in his house, bullshitting his ass off with a giant computer, and ultimately with his clip on, just like you see in this image in this video. But to them, these are voices, visions, and dreams which you see here in this video. And you're right, not to listen to it. I mean, there's no way not to listen to it. There's no way not to listen to it. You have to answer. At a certain point, it becomes the telepathy system. But there would be people trying to make money in psychiatry who screw all the people that were working on question. Otherwise, we're not making any money. Same thing, spreading rumors in the neighborhood and everything else. And that's what happened at that bar. But this guy's full of shit. He didn't do any of these things. Yeah, but if she doesn't say that she don't make your money, right? Yeah. So she got all your money and distributed it. All of it. She's supposed to get $65, which you don't want. You want. I mean, you wouldn't have that kind of money. You would have a clinic thing at that point. But if you follow this being there, you go on to do all those things with all this stuff, and that might not be understood, but it might be understood. Amazingly. So you talk to life eternally, you bought the thing, it works. It would tell you it's on the bridge. Right? This whole area is that way. It just floats in space. No, there's no explaining it. It has nothing to do with NASA told you when you were a child. There's nothing to do with the telling you now. But I believe that's how far it works. And we wanted to bring you here and show you all this stuff and see the future of this whole thing. About science, and not consider Long Island's position as ultimately a defense contract. I mean, you're not. That's not what they want. If you were to grow up, that would be different. I'm sure you got hit in the head with a baseball bat, like they said. There's just no way to do that. The reason for that is you don't belong there. See? And then he goes on to be the archangel and nothing else is what we want, or what most of us want, and fulfill that prophecy. And he was all seven rifles, who lived and died in each case, and that's what he believed. That if the people wanted to live, he would try to do that. After this, he believed God's son. It says over here something about God is the Word, and the Word is God, which he believed was a bug, right? At one point, yeah. And that God's son also says to check around with. But sometimes for hundreds of years, not believed. But because of the for 100 years, it is believed. Right? I mean, but you know that if those people you change that, they will attack you. They absolutely attack you. It's that important to them. Which, if you think you're gonna like with your phone, he do that to you all the time. What are you changing? I mean, what are you fixing? Leave it the way you had it. I mean, first of all, he's 20 years older than you, right? So it's an interesting story. We just want to look at the tape. FM stereo broadcast, you had said, was a transistor. People buy that, put it into retirement for people who buy it. Yeah, I think that, and I don't know what that creature is telling you. Ultimately, the whole thing works that way if you understood something about screens and the movie making. There's just not a time for too much painting, like there's too much something else. It's best that this character ends here somehow. The best we can do for him of natural causes. Something like that would be best. Just leave the whole thing alone. So, like life eternal, that woman is married with some other kid that is really that way, and that's mostly why you stayed away from it, right? You said if she only even 2 weeks, and she did. And she also said if she came to do, so you never did, unless you did, right? That's the right thing to do. So it went in different directions. Now they added that tape for them anyway, right, to give them some form of other life, so they can continue on to do this and train for all that stuff. Which we want to continue with this stuff. It's not very much, only $1.35 each, right? Mm. So they tell you, leave the stuff on the floor. I mean, if you went to somebody who said it so bad that you have no idea, and teach you some stuff, just in case. And we believe that goes in your back of your mind. But now you took Invega, your 30% of your brain is evaporated. See? And that's why you never took the medication, knowing that. But that's what it's for, though. Right? As the sunlight hits you in the back of the head, it's writing chips in the back of your head. Right? They had to take you into the hospital and put them in your eyeballs. Right? Sugar, like crystals. Right? Yeah. So a lot of stuff was done. Those decisions were made a long time ago. As that place meets the stars, which is amazing what this creature has. I'm not showing you the whole thing. Really, have a bull crap in that guy. You know what I mean? So it's not impossible. It takes a man to prove the point when all decided to change it. He was trying to do so and kept getting the crap kicked out of him. Right? So it doesn't have to be anything to take it. But those decisions we make, we wanted you to know, not that, and also none of us make those decisions, and that this never does work out. Because most of us say, leave it the way it is. And what these guys are trying to do is change and fix it. And they got the crap kicked out of them. They don't exist anymore. Right?